Welcome to another video with me, Elmo J. Karjalainen. It's good to have you along. You can call me this guy if my name is tricky. Today I'm talking about how to deal with everyone else being so much better than you, because that can be a really depressing thing when you're trying to become a great guitar player, singer, bass player, whatever, basketball player. So I'll talk more about that after this intro. Okay, so like I said, today I'm talking about how to deal with everyone else being so much better than you. This is the psychology of playing part 7, or how to become a great guitar player. I don't know, it's starting to change names, this series. That's a very real problem for many people. They think that everyone else is so much better than them. They look at other players, other guitar players, in our case if you're a guitar player, and they see someone who's just so much better than them, and how can you ever expect to become so good? And this can fall into two different categories, where it can be someone famous, so you look up to Yngwie Malmsteen, or let's say you discover Yngwie Malmsteen and he does something like this. Only he does it better, not the strap getting in the way, stupid thing. And you just basically go, wow, I'll just give up. And that's a perfectly normal reaction. I've had that reaction as well, and that's fine if it doesn't last for very, very long. The other thing is that you can see someone who's not a famous person who's very good. It can be just people around you who are better than you, and it can be depressing. So, what do you do about that? Well, first of all, if you're new to guitar playing, I don't mean like you've played for a week or two or something like that, but relatively new. It can be difficult to have perspective on your own playing ability and other people's playing ability. Sure, there are going to be people out there who are better than you, but they've also been worse than they are right now, and probably they've been worse than you at some point. The thing is, don't let it depress you, because the important thing is not where you're at right now. The important thing is that you're heading in the right direction, and heading in the right direction happens when you enjoy the journey, like we've talked about previously. You put in the hours and you have a goal and so on. But yeah, other people are going to be better than you. So look at those other people and draw inspiration from those people. So if there's someone who you really admire, let's say you discover Yngwie Malmsteen, and you're like, damn, I'll never be able to do that. I'd want to, but I won't. Try to think about it like this. What's holding you back the most is the thought that you can't. If you let go of that thought and you set that goal, Yngwie Malmsteen, and you break that down into small bits like we talked about in the setting goals video, then that feeling will pass, and you will progress. And like I said, the main thing is that you're heading in the right direction. And as you continue playing, one of the things that happens when you learn is that you get better at kind of appraising your own abilities relative to others. Because at some point, when you start out, let's say you learn a few chords, and you play some kind of AC/DC song, which I'm not going to play due to copyright reasons, yeah, you can feel on top of the world. Yeah, I can play anything. And then of course, you don't actually think that you can play anything, but that's the kind of feeling that you might have. And then you hear let's say Yngwie Malmsteen, and you kind of realize, I don't know anything. It can be a really depressing thought. But what happens is quite often that, let's say, this is your evaluation of yourself, and let's say that you're actually right. This is your ability and this is your evaluation. You practice and your ability steadily goes up, but it can be that your evaluation stays way lower than your actual ability is. So you kind of downplay your own achievements. And when someone says, let's say you know how to play this, and someone says, hey, that's really cool, you're really good. Your response is, yeah, but that's just simple, like tapping is really easy, but I don't know anything else. It might be true you don't know anything else, but tapping isn't easy. That's the stock answer that I hear as a teacher when people get told that they're good at something, and they react kind of by downplaying that whole thing and say, yeah, but that's easy, but I don't know anything else. I have an example of a guy who's he's very, let's say, extroverted, and he's very noisy. He puts on a kind of charade or kind of a front to hide the fact that he's not always very good at stuff. But one time we had this thing where I asked my students to, I basically took a PA system, a small PA system, and disconnected everything, just put everything on a table and said, right, connect this and I'll help if you want some help. And this guy, he was the only guy in that group who got it kind of after just looking at it a couple of minutes. He just connected everything, and I said, that's nice, that's very well done. And you know what his response was? It's just logical thinking. Downplaying that achievement, because relative to everyone else in that group, it was great, it was brilliant. No one got even close to what he knew. So that's a common thing that many people have when they downplay their own achievements. So what you do when everyone else is so good, you have to realize that you can be just as good as them. There is no reason why you couldn't. Apart from maybe physical reasons, if you're missing your left hand, you won't be able to play guitar. But even Django Reinhardt could play guitar with 2 fingers and be considered one of the best guitar players ever. Most of it's in your head and made up by you, or someone has fed you without you knowing it. Your kind of surroundings have told you that you can't be what someone else is. So remember, it's not where you're at, it's that you're moving in the right direction. And basically everyone else also has these very same fears. Even I have these kind of doubts occasionally, where I go, no, that guy's so much better than me. It gets less when you know more, but still, I occasionally have that insecurity. So remember, it's human. Move in the right direction. Don't get depressed. Just keep at it and it'll sort itself out. Will you become Yngwie Malmsteen? Don't know. You don't know until you try. But if you enjoy the journey, which you will, then I'd say it's definitely been worth it, even if you don't become Yngwie Malmsteen. So that's basically all I have for you today. Give it a thumbs up, the video, if you liked it, a thumbs down if you didn't like it, and leave a comment, let me know what you thought, or if there's something I missed, because it's a complicated subject in a way, or if you have any personal experience along these lines. And subscribe if you haven't already, hit that bell notification thing, and support me on Patreon, because you get a bunch of exclusive stuff, songs that have never been released to the public, and a live show and so on. And yeah, I think that was everything. You support me on Patreon, it helps me make more of these videos. So I hope to see you in another one. Take care. Goodbye!